should be trickling in.
What's up, guys? It's Titan Lifestyle, getting everything set up right now on the main screen. Every Friday, good to have my brother back in the lab with me.
Yeah. We are live everywhere and 3, 2, 1, rolling.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Titan Lifestyle. Me and Big Drew.
That's right, it's Titan Lifestyle. We do this every week at 2 p.m. Titan events, therapy of the week, crazy topics, and my favorite part, Q&A.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So bring on your questions, guys. Anything we can help you out with nationwide, hormone replacement therapy, medical weight loss, vitamin amino acid injectable therapies, rejuvenation detox, libido enhancers, peptide therapies, and much, much more. So wherever you guys are at, we can help you guys out, look better, feel better, and perform better. And we're here to answer any questions about any of the therapies, or maybe you want to learn about gaining more muscle, losing weight, better libido, better performance, better mental clarity, overall improving quality of life. And, whatever your goal is, health-wise or fitness-wise, we're here to help you accomplish that goal.
Yeah, we could also help on the outside, too. John mentioned weight loss, muscle gain. We could also help with your hair, skin, and nails, too. So Anybody out there has any hair, skin, or nail issues, give us a call, 727-389-3220. And we do service all 50 states except for Idaho. So.
Yep. Jahedo, Scotty, Eddie O, Pop Finesse, what's going on? Bruno, Jose, Mendoza, what's going on? Original Ed Step, Grant Glue, Juanaid, Nurasan, what's going on? And everybody over on TikTok too as well. What's going on, guys? I hope all is well. Yeah, man, it's going down today.
Start piling in.
Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good Friday. Weekend's coming up. If you guys are here in Tampa, then you guys know about Gasparilla, and that's a huge, huge event here in Tampa. If you don't know about Gasparilla, you guys can always look it up. It's a huge event here in Tampa where hundreds of thousands of people come here to Tampa, and they celebrate this pirate invasion of the Bay. And it's like huge parade, a lot of beads, and a ton of Gasparilla parties going on for sure, all around.
They basically take over downtown and Bayshore. They close the streets off, shoulder to shoulder, people, thousands and thousands of people all throughout the street. So some people think it's a headache, some people love it. So it's going to be, like John said, I think 500,000 people are going to be going to it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy.
It's going to be a lot for sure. I mean, it gets crazier and crazier every year, and usually we have a float in that. This year we don't. It is what it is, but it's still going to be a good time. I think we're going to go down there, have a little good time, a little gathering maybe at one of my friend's house on Bayshore, and enjoy the parade and enjoy some good beats in the backyard. So I'll try to go live to show you guys kind of what's going on in Gasparilla so you guys can get a feel for it on video. So be wary of that tomorrow. Social media, I will be going live for you guys, and it won't be about Titan. It'll be about having a good time and Titan lifestyle.
It's supposed to be a good day tomorrow, too. It's been a little chilly everywhere. Tampa, we're like 83 today.
Yes.
84 yesterday, or 85. So we're good down here. So
it's crazy because it's supposed to be 80-something degrees tomorrow.
And then 60.
And then a high of 69 the next day. It's just, we have been getting lottery numbers here in Florida for our weather. And it's just been kind of different. Usually it's all cold or it's usually hot. And it's just been bouncing back day to day.
Yeah, usually this time of year it's like high is 80, low is 50, 55 at night.
Yeah.
And now it's been one day the high will be 55, the next day the high will be 85.
Yeah.
So
true. Yeah. So true.
I love the heat though.
Me too. I'd rather be warm than
Bring
cold.
the heat.
We both come from cold weather originally.
Never going back.
And don't ever want to go back there. Absolutely. Yeah. So let's get into the first topic today. All right. And if you guys have any questions about Titan Medical Center, what we can do for you guys, or have any questions about how we can help, or whatever your goal is trying to achieve, maybe we can chime in on that and help you guys out. So let's talk about the first thing. It's therapy of the week. Now, the big thing and big topic around the world, or even the United States, I guess, for at least the last couple of months has been peptides. Before that, big news about peptides and how much they work and all the different peptides out there that can help people, whether it's healing or mental clarity or, expanding life or anti-aging or all these different things that peptides can do. And, right now there's a ban against compounding bulk substances of some of these different compounds that are peptides. And at that point, it's been an ongoing battle with the pharmacies and the DEA with this. So what we're doing is we've still got pharmacies that are producing these peptides, but what they are telling me is these peptides are going to come to an end very shortly. I know one pharmacy told me in March they're going to stop compounding these peptides, and they're one of the major pharmacies that compound a lot of these peptides. What they did say, though, was that there are going to be substitutions. So they're working on different molecular structures of some of these different drugs to be able to bring it to you guys to make sure that they can't ban it. And if they try to ban that, they can just change the molecular structure again. It's just so crazy how that works.
Yeah, it's kind of like they used to do with the pre-workouts and all that, all the little garbage energy stuff that they have at the supplement places that gets banned. They change one thing and come back. So scientists and people like that, they're too good at it. They just come up with something better.
Chemists, man.
Like John said, if it's coming to an end, stock up now. I mean, you got, if he said February or March, you got a good month to jump on this. Yeah, to jump on it and see what you can grab.
So Ryan asked on TikTok, he said, what makes you stand above the rest of the clinics? That's a good question. I like that. And I love it. So it gets me able to talk about what we do different. So what do we do different? Now, we've been in business since October 2012, so like 11 and a half years almost, right? Now, what we've done since then is we've been concentrating on patient experience, patient therapies, cutting edge, and to the highest standard. That was one thing. But patient care was really the big thing. And I think that's what sets us apart from anybody else out there. So for us, we really care about the patient to come through. We want to make sure that they didn't feel like a number and that we really cared about their health. And that's where we really want to get them resolved. So with that, one thing I would say is customer service, patient care. So we're there 24/7 for you guys. If you call, text, email, we're there. We're checking on you every 28 days to make sure you're good on your therapies, how everything's going. Do you need anything? And then if you have any problems, anytime, any day, you can call, text, or email, and then we're there to talk to you. Whether it's positive, negative, you guys trying to hit a different goal or trying to do something different, that's what we're there for. A lot of clinics are not like that. The other thing I would say is we really care about your health. There are some places out there that you could go and say, listen, I want this, this, and this, and like, all right, no problem, we're going to write it out, and that's what it is. But some of those things could possibly be hurting you or hurting your health or not be good for you in the long term. So at that point, our providers are there to customize and personalize a regimen for you. That's another thing. We personalize regimens for the patients, not create categories and then what patient falls in this category gets this. So that's a little bit different too as well. The other thing is our appointments, our patient consultations. So a patient consultation is going to be between 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour. It's going to be an hour. It's going to be the most, I think, at that point, and that's well above any other provider that's going to give you a consultation out there. I know some are like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, very short and sweet, just trying to get the need and the no out of there and then get you off, and then at that point, not support you. They send you out the medications. I know people don't get callbacks from places for weeks. They get put on the wrong doses of medications. They're waiting for pharmacy medications for 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. So that's what makes us different. We will always make things right. We will always go above and beyond for patients, and that's the Titan difference. I mean, you hit it on the head. There's nothing. Pretty simple, pretty.
I can't even add anything to that. You pretty much hit it on the head. But just at the gym the other day, I had someone come up to me and say that they just started with Titan, and it was actually for BPC, which is crazy. We're talking about it now, and that was the first thing he said. Man, they were so nice. They took care of me on the phone.
Yeah.
So
we're there. Yeah. We're definitely there.
It's not just a myth. It's not just
No.
You can call yourself 727-389-3220 and speak to anybody who picks up the phone. They're going to handle you professionally. They're going to be friendly. They're going to answer all your questions. So, yeah.
You can also, like I said, you can also text that line, same response. It's a real live person. So even when you get your text messages, let's say 28 days later, right? You don't pick up your phone, we text you. That's not an automated message that goes out. That's a real live person texting you, and you can text them back like, "Hey," just say something off the wall, just to see if it really is a live person, right?
Yeah.
And you'll see it's not an automated response. It's literally a person that's going to be texting you. So
now that I don't see anybody else doing that.
Nobody does that.
No one else.
Automation is everything out there, and everybody's trying to automate things as much as they possibly can. And it's good, I guess, to a certain extent to automate. It's a lot easier. It's more expensive for somebody to do, right? But it doesn't provide the customer care, and this should be patient care. And I hate even saying customer to a patient. So patient care, because a customer buys a TV, the TV breaks, they can wait the weekend or week, I guess, to get in touch with somebody, and it's not as bad. When it's your health or something's going on, reaction, whatever it is, then you need to talk to somebody right away and see what's going on so you're not freaking out, nothing's wrong, you're good to go, you have good well-being about, the situation that you're in or whatever it is. So, that's the big difference, I say, and, the next question on here was, how do you test products from compound pharmacies for safety and efficacy?
Good question.
This is a great question.
Good question.
Great question. I love these questions, guys. So the way that we do it is there's third-party testing that goes out, right, from the compounding pharmacies, and they have to do this on each of the batches, and they test multiple vials in the batch, because there's some places that would just send out one vial from one batch. Well, that really doesn't do me any good. I mean, it should be the same,
Yeah.
But you always want to send out multiple vials from a batch. It's going to cost a little bit more to do, but you're going to get a real specific number or a real guaranteed result, I guess, doing the 3. And you can do a median of the 3, but all 3 of those should come out the exact same, right? So we get a test report from these third-party labs on these things. Now, we're testing for a number of different things, from concentration, sterility, endotoxin testing. So want to make sure that the drug is potent, right? It's at a certain number, and I think it's 99% or above. And usually these are 100% or above. But they have to be like 99% or above. The next thing is we make sure that sterility is there. Because if sterility is there and there's different things in that vial, like bacteria or something that creeps in there, when you inject it into somebody, then at that point, they're going to get that bacteria. And that can cause a number of different things that can go wrong. So for us, that's a very important thing. I mean, I inject these things too. So, you know, I'm putting my butt on the line just as much as you guys are. And I want to make sure everything is good to go. And I always try everything before anybody gets it. So at that point, you know, it's good. And these testings are there. And then at that point, the testing for these vials too, for these medications, so you guys know, these are usually tested for 3 to 6 month time spans. So what does that mean? That means that the vial goes there, the lab lets it sit there after it's been opened and pierced and taken multiple shots out, and it sits there. And then after 3 months or 1 month, they'll be like, all right, cool. Let's do the data on this. Everything's good. 2 months, okay, we're good to go. 3 months, cool. 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. And that's the limit that they can do for compounding pharmacies. Now, regular pharmaceutical companies can do 1 year, 2 years, like Eli Lilly, Pfizer, whatever it may be. And they do the exact same testing on this, and they know that there's not going to be any breakdown of the medication in there. There's no problems as far as sterility or endotoxins, and concentration is going to be there. So that's how it works in the background. If you guys don't know, you guys just got educated. So that's how we do it too as well. All right. Do you have to inject BPC 157 in the area you need to heal, or can you inject it wherever?
I think it's systematic, but it's definitely going to help if you put it closest to where the pain is, elbow or knee pain. I would definitely put it closest. It's going to hit the area faster.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything's systematic to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can inject some of your body. It's probably going to go through it all the way. I mean, they do say this is more site-specific and TB500 is more systemic. But at this point, like, I would inject it closest to the area that you need to heal. Not directly into the area, like if you have an open cut or right into a tendon or anything like that.
Yeah, no tendons. People are like, I have tendon pain. It doesn't mean you put put the needle into the tendon.
Don't do that.
That's like trying to pierce a pencil eraser. It's not going to feel good.
You don't want, plus you don't want to create more scar tissue in those areas, you know. That's the bad thing is scar tissue. It's, you know, it's not even necessarily the injury. It's after you've healed from the injury. If it's not healed properly, there's more scar tissue in there. And that can cause a lot of issues in there too.
And if you're like super lean too, don't pinch the skin and pull it up and use that to go underneath. No.
Well, I mean, you can. No, absolutely.
No, if you're super lean, a lot of people that are super lean, they're afraid to go in because everything's right there. The tendons, everything's right there.
Yeah.
So if you need to pinch to get the sub-Q or a little bit in there, pinch a little bit out, and then from here I can go into that. Like, there's no meat right there. There's nothing there. So if the pain's there, I could pinch a little here. So don't be afraid to pinch, or you can do sub-Q in your stomach.
Absolutely.
Stomach's good as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't just jam it in there unless you know what you're going into.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. That's the way to do it, actually. So subcutaneous is where you want to go, guys, for sure, 100%.
Intramuscular. Another thing too. I don't mean to cut you off, John, but
no
I'm hearing about people putting BPC in their biceps and triceps. It's not made for that. It's not Hercules potion. It's not. Yeah, it's not supposed to go into your. It's not supposed to go into your bicep. It's not supposed to go into your tricep or in your glute or. It's not intramuscular. So keep that in mind too. So
I guess people
are doing concoctions with glutathione and BPC and Titan Complete. Just because it's all water based doesn't mean it's all supposed to go into the same area. I'm saying, be careful.
I guess they're trying to get it in all at one time. I could, I'll give you guys an A for effort.
Yeah, you better just do it the way you're supposed to do it.
Okay, so why is it easier to get a script from a TRT clinic instead of a family doctor? Do they protect the insurance company? Great question, Ryan. So this is a good question. These are great questions you guys are throwing at us. So keep them coming, please. All right. So the reason it's easier to get an HRT or TRT through a more preventative anti-aging clinic or TRT or HRT clinic is that most of them don't accept insurance. Now, the thing with the insurance is, and with medical providers like your general practitioner is that they run on insurance. So what happens is the insurance has certain stipulations that they set, not the provider, but them. They set of what they're going to cover and what diagnosis needs to be there and the whole nine. So if you want to get TRT or HRT through your general practitioner and use your insurance, most insurance companies want 2 clinically deficient levels ran on the AM by the provider. So at that point, like, you would be below the reference range, not a point or 2 above or at the bottom of the scale, lower end, but literally clinically deficient. So at that point, if you're a couple points above that reference range, you're technically normal, okay? And the insurance company is not going to cover that. So at that point, that's the difference of why you can get one easier from a TRT clinic or a preventive anti-aging clinic than you would from a general practitioner. And they're not protecting the insurance company. It's the insurance company is setting the standard, basically. And at that point, the providers have to go off that standard if they want to get reimbursed for the patient. It's crazy, but that's why I don't accept the insurance. It's a lot of red tape. They're handcuffing the provider what they want to do. This even happens with blood testing. When you go into a general practitioner, you can't just be like, hey, listen, I want to get all these tests ran on me. Write it out. They're not going to do that. They're going to say, oh, well, why do you want this? Why do you want this? Well, because they have to produce diagnosis codes for it to get covered by an insurance company. If they don't produce the right diagnosis codes, or the insurance company thinks that diagnosis is not correct for you, they will not throw that test back on the doctor. That comes directly to you, and you're paying a huge bill at that point. I mean, big. So, you don't want to get caught in that ring around the rosy type deal. And just stop. I wouldn't stop messing around. You can go right to Titan Medical Center. We're going to help you guys out. We're going to be very transparent of what's going to go on. So,
and I've found too that TRT clinics are a lot more familiar with what you're trying to accomplish when you go there, as opposed to a family doctor. Family doctors are, I don't know, it's a little. I have nothing bad to say about family doctors, but in terms of what we do, in most TRT clinics, what they do, and why the reason you'd want to go there, whether it's to look better, feel better, perform better, usually TRT clinics are more familiar with, as opposed to someone that you're going in there and telling them stuff that they've never heard about. They're like, what? And they're just reading a piece of paper and going off of, whatever they were taught.
Yeah. So Ryan asked, he said, my doctor wouldn't give me tests even when my level was 200. Well, you are clinically deficient at that point if you're a LabCorp scale. Now, listen, this just doesn't say, all right, well, you're at 200. The doctor's got to he's got to recommend, like, this is the recommendation that I'm giving you, too. Yeah. So there's a lot of doctors out there, especially the older ones, they don't believe in testosterone. They still believe the myth that testosterone is going to hurt you. It's not. When it's monitored correctly and it's done properly, it's not going to hurt you. It's just going to take you back to the years when you had those levels. Yeah. You're not talking about super physiological levels. You're talking about, at the higher end of the range, right? You're living optimal when you were like 18 to 21 years old. Yeah. You're feeling good, right? That's what it's about. And there are some doctors out there that don't believe in that. And they believe that, hey, listen, you're going to get old, you're going to age, and that's just a part of life. And I don't know how many doctors I've heard say that to patients or to myself. So at that point, it is what it is. And, that's why we do as well as we do. There's a lot of people out there that want help. They go to their general practitioners for this help. They go through all these hoops, and they spend all their co-pays and all this other stuff, and they still don't get the help that they want. And now they've wasted time, and they come to us like, man, I wish I would have just did this off the bat because, I was trying to save a couple bucks here, and it just cost me more in the long run. So, at that point, I would definitely look into us, Ryan, and we will definitely help you out. Okay?
Also, Ryan, I would also ask, how old are you, too? Because if you're, if you're real young, depending on what you consider real young anymore, but if you're young, then that might be a question, a deciding factor, too, as to why you wouldn't write it. And also, too, have you always been 200? Were you 1,200 or 2,000 before at one point, and now you're back to 200, and you're seeing that same doctor? So a lot of times if guys go and they're way too low, they're 100, 200, but they're going to the same doctor. Last year they were out of range, over at 1,500. Wow. So their doctor might be saying, hey, what's going on? Something doesn't seem right, so they may not feel comfortable writing it because they know you're fluctuating up and down, or they know you're going to abuse whatever they're giving you too. Yeah. So. Yeah. Have you always been 300? This is the first test, and how old are you would make it? Oh, you say it's 42.
42 now. It was
42.
32 when I was 32 when it was 200. So this is 10 years later.
Yeah, you got to get it done again.
How are you surviving, bro?
Yeah, man,
listen.
You feel great.
Definitely call or text us. We'll take care of you 100%. and we'll get you, to 900 at least, man. We'll get you balling, get you, feeling good, where you should be. I mean, it'll change the game for you 100%.
Now, you said you were 32, so it was 8 years ago when it was 200?
10.
40, oh, yeah, 42.
10.
I thought it was 40, yeah. So it's been 10 years, so, I mean, have you got it checked within those 10 years? I mean, it might be 100 now, it might be 300.
Yeah.
I'll definitely get it checked again before you do anything.
Well, call or text us.
Yeah.
Let's test it. Let's see what's going on, and let's get you going.
Yeah.
Hold on. Best in the business. Many tried, but Titan sets the bar. Thank you. We appreciate you holding. And then we've got Tom Dollarhide. I keep tweaking my rear delt, and I have been reading about BBC. BBC is definitely a game changer, especially if you're tweaking your rear delt, your shoulders, any joint areas, tendons, muscles. I mean, it's really, really good as far as that goes. And you can add TB500 and make it more systemically throughout the body, and you can make it. They work together really, really well. So.
Yeah, it's a good thing John mentioned with the TB500, because if people have pain in their rear delt, if you're injecting yourself, it's hard to reach.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to mix it with some TB500 systematic, if you have a girlfriend, wife, friend, someone that knows how to do it the right way, and then they can reach, that's good too.
Yep. And then what we got? Christian, what's going on from Strength X? My dude, what's going on? Gator Palms, Alcoholic, Mr. Gutierrez, Mr. Inc., Travis, what's going on? Dollarhide said, my doctor only prescribes 50 milligrams a week, and my test was 90. It only brings me up to about 400. That's garbage. That's another thing that these general practitioners do, or urologists. They give you just enough to get you but you're still going to have symptoms. Yeah. And then you're still injecting this testosterone. So why not give you the better dose and get you where you need to be? You're feeling good. You have to inject it anyway. You're injecting testosterone anyway. I mean, and even at 400, I mean, on most scales, you're below the middle half. So at that point, if you're not even halfway where you need to be, I mean, how's that? How long feel?
How long have you been taking the 50 milligrams too?
Man, that's
400 is still low. Just to give you guys an idea, when I first came to Titan, my testosterone was 408, and that was about half of what it should be. I didn't know at the time. I know now, but. Yep. And I was a 408, and they said I definitely qualified, and I feel better now.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, 400. So what they're telling him is, hey, look, we brought your testosterone 4 times higher than what it was in the beginning. Yeah. Yes. It used to be 90. Now it's over 4 times that. Yeah, but it's still only half about where it should be, the optimal.
Yeah, 4 times that.
Yeah. What'd you say?
No, you're right. Like 4 times.
Oh, we got it 4 times higher. It's better than anything you can buy at the store. Yeah, well, you're still.
Yeah, not optimal.
You're still half of your total of what you should be. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, you should be about 850, and you're about 400. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying average. You should be about around 850. 900. Absolutely. Plus, you have to inject it anyway. Come on. Yeah. So Ryan asked, do you incorporate HCG with tests occasionally? So yes. So with the program with us, you're going to get add back support every time. So at that point, it would be HCG or enclomiphene. You'd get testosterone, your aromatase inhibitor, syringes, all that stuff would come to your doorstep. So everything you need will be there. So you have a fully encompassed program, and we have everything that you need. So you're not getting any of the side effects with all the benefits of being on hormone replacement therapy or testosterone. Okay. Also, too, Ryan, you said 10 years ago. 10 years ago, HCG was the thing. Everybody's HCG. Yeah. So, I mean, enclomiphene, like John said, it's something new that we have here. Not too new, but. It's something I use, and it's a capsule. It's not going to increase your estrogen as much as HCG, so you don't have to refrigerate it. So, enclomiphene's a capsule, a lot easier to take, and it does the same thing in terms of your blood work that HCG will do.
Tom Dollarhide, 5 years he's been on that program. Man, it's time to switch. It's time to start feeling optimal. I promise you, you get those numbers up to where they need to be, man, you're going to be feeling a lot better for sure, 100%, like 1,000,000%. And guys, with HCG, so HCG is back compounded. I have one pharmacy that's doing it.
Uh-oh.
So we are offering that option. It's a little bit more expensive than the enclomiphene package, but some people want the HCG, so it is available for you guys. I always like to throw it out there. Some people like HCG and have been on it for such a long time.
Yeah, everyone has their favorites.
It is what it is. You can also switch back and forth through enclomiphene or HCG and see which one you really like the best.
Now, for all you crazies out there, don't take it at the same time.
No, I wouldn't take it.
So John said, we can go back and forth. That means I can take it. No.
I think it'd be overlapping if you did that.
Yeah, but that's, your estrogen's going to be through the roof.
It's something you don't need to do. You won't have to do. At that point, it's not necessary at all, and it's not going to cause you any big gains or.
Yeah, don't decide all of a sudden you want to have a baby now with your wife or girlfriend start slamming the HCG and enclomiphene, trying to get everything. No, they don't wanna
You
do
will be
that.
getting everybody pregnant, and they start getting your little stash. You're going to get pregnant too. Lost you guys for a few. I didn't hear your question. I didn't have a question. I said that we incorporate, with our HRT or TRT programs, add-back therapy, so HCG or enclomiphene. You'll get an aromatase inhibitor, the testosterone syringes, everything to your doorstep, everything that you need. All right, so let's get into the first topic of the day.
First topic is, in China, you have to pass a physical fitness test to graduate from college. Yeah, I love this.
Yes.
I love this. China's probably, I don't know everywhere, but from what I see, it's one of the healthier, more fitness. People are in shape in China. You don't see a lot of obese, overweight people. And I love stuff like this because it's basically, like over there, they get it. They get it in terms of, fitness and eating right and working. They just understand. I don't know why we don't do this over here. But basically what they have to do is before they graduate, it's kind of like the military. They have to take a test. If they don't, when they take this test, they accumulate points for different events that they do, or I don't know, you call them events, different abilities they have to perform. And then if they have a certain amount of points, they pass the test. If they fail, they have to redo it. And not only that, every semester, it's not just that once you graduate, they make you keep up on it too. So they don't let you fall off. Every semester, the women have to run 800 meters timed. The men have to run 1,000 meters timed every semester. So it keeps them in shape. So not only is your mind going to be sharp, you're in school, it's keeping you fit. So then once you go into the real world, you have some type of, because what happens is they teach us everything about education and life, but they don't teach you anything about fitness and health like they should in school. So what this is doing is setting people up to understand that and to be, what we preach here at Titan, to be good at everything. To have good health, to have good family, to have a good job, to have good everything. So it's kind of like, with this, it's like, once you graduate college, now for the rest of your life, you're going to be thinking to yourself, if I start gaining weight or I start falling off, you're going to have the mindset of, I need to keep up on it because they taught it to you when you were younger. So not only that, it's going to have a lot more fit people, a lot more, less depression, a lot more less, I love it. I think they should do that over here. I don't know why they don't. It's like we have certain testing during school, in gym class or physical education. We have different tests we do. But then once you get higher up, it's like, even certain schools, like my high school, once you hit 10th grade, if you're playing a sport, you don't have to do physical fitness anymore.
That's how it is at Peter's school.
Yeah, so that's how it is a lot of schools. Freshman, everyone has to do physical fitness, a gym, physical education. Yeah. And then once you're a sub, you don't have to. So what happens is people they'll lose that the connection of fitness and school education with this. So it's kind of like off. So I've never heard of this. I don't know why I've never heard of this. I've seen I've heard about so many different fitness things or keeping people in shape. And there's a reason. I always think of why they're in shape over there. I mean, this isn't the only reason. The diet and everything has a lot to do with it. The lack of processed foods. But yeah, I love seeing stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I don't know, I've never heard of this.
Obviously, the communist country of China I don't like very much, but I think this is a good thing to instill, especially in high schools, and as far as a standard. There should be a standard for people as far as physical fitness and nutrition to a certain degree, right? I mean, you can't make everybody eat right and you can't make everybody exercise, but we should be promoting this, right? Instead of not promoting it and saying that fat is healthy, because it's not healthy. We know that, guys. I mean, it's so crazy, the disinformation world that we live in these days, where some people are so
sensitive,
not sensitive, or just at that point blatantly oblivious to some information that they read, and they start spatting it off. I just can't believe, when you start seeing people saying, well, it's okay to be morbidly obese and I'm still healthy. It's not. I mean, physical activity is a major part of who we are as human beings. When we were put on this earth, what we were supposed to be doing. I mean, really, we're all lazy to a certain extent. When we were, me, Drew, everybody, and that's because we're not out hunting our food.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's why the body does what it does, and in storing calories, because the body was trained you don't know when the next food or calories you're going to get. So at that point, your body stores them for later. So at that point, we're an excessive world, an excessive country. I know in the U.S. China might be a little bit more restricted as far as that goes. It's a lot different in China than it is here in the United States, all the way around.
Yeah, some of the stuff I don't like what you said, but I'm just, in terms of health.
No, this is awesome.
In terms of health, I think they're definitely winning in terms of actual health. Other stuff, the way they, the kids are kind of overworked in school and physical stuff, and the way they could, if you cross the street and it's not the right time, you get a ticket and the money comes out of your bank and all that. I don't agree with all that stuff, but in terms of health and fitness, I love stuff like this. I don't know why we don't do this over here.
We should have there. Listen, I know like back in the 60s, like Kennedy, he was really hardcore about these programs. And then it just kind of started dying off through the years, man. I mean, listen, when my son was going to one school and they didn't require any PE in middle school, I'm like, this is a shame. Like, you guys are hurting these kids more than ever. I mean, because kids aren't out like they used to be. Like, we're not out like when we were young. We were out there playing basketball or playing with our friends. There, and we had Nintendo. I think 12 years old or something like that. So it wasn't like we were oblivious we didn't have games. It was just more people want to be outside and play with their friends, and now it's more of a online thing, and that's where it's going. Augmented reality, virtual reality,
Fortnite, and
I mean, you're staying inside. Phones. I mean, I don't know how many people are on their phones, kid-wise. I mean, they're attached to their phones more than ever. iPads, whatever it is, and of course, these have become an essential part of living. Like, I don't know anybody that doesn't have a phone that's an adult. Like, unless they're old, right?
The thing is,
but our age group.
I remember like 10 years ago or even 15 years ago, people were like, I don't have a phone. You'd be like, okay, he doesn't have a phone. Now, if I hear someone has a house phone, I'm like, you have a house phone?
Yeah.
Like, what's a house phone?
I mean,
How do you even dial on a house phone?
Even email addresses.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago, people might not have an email address. And they might not be able to do this or whatever. But and most people now have an email address. They have a social media account. I mean, whether they're older, younger. I mean, whether it's Facebook or whatever it is, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. It's nuts. It's just kind of crazy. We're just spotting that off, I guess.
I think we should do this over here. I want to know if anybody knows any schools or any places that do this, like private schools or private universities or outside of the military. I know all the military, they have certain physical requirements, but
and even those have lessened.
Yeah, we talked about it was like 12 push-ups within 60 seconds or something crazy. I was like, wow. Yeah, but I guarantee you, any of these people over there graduating from college could pass that military test.
Yeah,
because their test looked almost harder than. They had to do, like, the women have to run, I don't know what the time they have to run, but I know the women have to run 800 meters, which is 2 miles. Yeah. The men have to run 1,000, which is 2.25 miles. So, yeah.
It's crazy. Strength Addicts Christian asks, what sports did John, Drew, and Art play? I played basketball. I wasn't aggressive enough for football.
Yeah, I played football, basketball, and track.
Football, soccer, baseball.
Yeah, I played in high school. In high school, I got letters baseball, soccer, and basketball. And the reason I played football all the way up until high school, but when I went away to high school, they didn't have a football team. So I had to literally relearn a whole new sport. Yeah. and honestly, I played soccer like I would football. I was midfield, and I would go slide tackle everybody. I'd come at you like a train. I could care less about scoring. I'm definitely coming at you, and if you're in my way, I'm going to slide tackle you. I'm going to get the ball away. So that was the only thing for me. But I love football. I'm a football guy.
I'm a football guy too. I was better at football, but I like playing basketball better. But basketball now when you gain that much weight playing basketball, I feel like I've never played before when I play now. It's almost depressing, but it's fun.
I mean, baseball, I got offered scholarships, did that route. So that was my better sport, I guess. Basketball is good. I always started, shooting and all that, but now it's like, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I need to get shoulder surgery so I can even shoot or throw again.
Yeah, now it's like 3 or 4 shots and my elbow hurts. And then I'm like, I don't understand how I used to do this for hours and one arm is not tired, but this arm. Yeah. Now, because I'm a left, I shoot left. So now, if I shoot, like, it's awkward because I'm bulky. It's awkward now.
It's different, right?
It's so much different.
It's different.
It's like I think I could do it like I used to, but it's not the same.
It's definitely different.
It's definitely awkward.
What's up with Tristan Thomas getting busted for MK677? I didn't see this.
You heard about it? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's been everywhere.
Tristan Thomas?
Yeah. I beat him. I can't even speak.
Ibutamortin,
yeah.
Oh, dang.
Tristan.
Suspended 25 games?
So anybody out there, NFL, NBA guys, you guys always hear us talk about therapies. Make sure that these therapies aren't on the banned substance lists.
Yeah.
Some of them are, some of them aren't. Yeah. So make sure whether you're NCAA, NBA, NFL, WNBA, doesn't matter what you do, make sure it's not on the banned substance list.
LGD 4033 and so he's on SARMs too, huh?
That's pretty good advertisement.
Damn, bro.
lean body mass.
Oh my God. Well, listen, everybody's gonna be wanting to do these
Tristan's
things
got a lot
now.
of stuff going on though. I mean, he's got the Kardashian thing. He's got. He's always. That's always in his head.
Right,
That's always.
that's right.
Yeah. He's.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, listen, I always tell any athlete, and we've got some pros that come to us, that, listen, make sure we're okay. Because I don't want you to get on TV or on the internet, and I don't want to be on TV or internet for you taking things you shouldn't be taking.
Ask your coach, trainer, whoever you have to ask.
I mean,
just there's always a list.
There's a list.
NCAA has a list, and there's always a list. NHL.
Listen, there's more people than ever in these athletes that are taking PEDs. Like, Tim Grover's a good friend of mine. Tim Grover called me up one day and he said, listen, I need to talk to you. I said, what's going on? And he's like, listen, I just want to make sure. He's like, there is a reporter right now in a news outlet that's offering $1 million to say who's on testosterone in the league right now, because there's some big players are on it, he said. And I said, well, it ain't me, so I ain't helping any of those guys out, so I'm not really worried about it. He's like, good. I just want to make sure, because you don't want to get caught in this. Like, because they're looking. I mean, they want to expose stories like this. Especially PEDs. And then, if you take a PED and you're a professional athlete, you risk what Sammy Sosa's going through, Mark McGuire's going through, Roger Clemens is going through.
Asterisk. Going to have an asterisk next to every
They'll
record.
never be in the Hall of Fame. Their records don't count. I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid to even see, even Barry Bonds, where they did not catch him. Yeah. They knew. Everybody knows. If they didn't catch him, he wasn't convicted, and he's still going to be blackballed.
Yeah, Mark McGuire, all those guys. It's like even Jose Canseco, even going back. I mean, he's the one that really. He was like the original guy.
He's the guy that ratted on everybody.
Yeah,
he wrote the book and he told the story about everybody, and then everybody denied it, and Congress got involved because of, the biggest thing was with Sosa, McGuire. During that time, they revitalized baseball. Like, baseball was in the slow end, it was going down, and that home run race just revitalized everything. People like to see home runs. People like to see, great plays made. And PEDs are not going to make those plays. The players are. Now,
at the skill level, the brain.
Yeah, I mean, whether they get stronger, they might get a little faster, but that's not going to train eye and hand coordination. It's not going to train form. You could be the biggest son of a bee out there and have the best velocity out there. And if you can't control it, you're nothing. So at that point, like, even pitchers, like,
that's why I was terrible at baseball. I could throw hard.
Yeah.
Terrible. I can't even throw it
Yeah.
You could be 50 feet in front of me. I'll throw it hard, but it would go over here.
Right.
It was just way off.
I mean, it's not all about how strong you are, or how fast you can throw it, or how hard you can hit. You still got to have eye-hand coordination to hit the ball, and that doesn't develop through steroids or any anabolics that I know of. I want it if that is the case. I want some superhuman powers where I can see like an eagle. And at that point, you know what I'm saying?
The thing is, if that was really the case, then the records would be getting broken every year because there's so many guys that are taking stuff.
For sure.
There's only, it just so happens that one or two of the guys broke a record. But what about the other 1,000 guys that taking stuff that were just a mediocre player? He might have been bigger, stronger, and faster than the guy that broke the records. But like John said, he didn't have the athletic skill. He didn't have the instinct or whatever you need in baseball to be able to do that. So it was fun though watching Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds that one year. Dude, they both hit like 65,
Sosa and him,
70.
I mean, dude, like that revitalized baseball, literally. Guys.
That was fun that year.
And that's what I'm saying. It's fun, It's like, come on. What up, John? Does Titan prescribe HGH or similar peptides? So we definitely prescribe similar peptides. So we just talked about the therapy of the week. Maybe I didn't go too in depth with it. CJC $12.95 with Ipamorelin. That is the therapy of the week. There's $25 off of that therapy right now, and that is a GHRH peptide. It's a growth hormone releasing hormone peptide. And what it's going to do is those are actually two peptides in one vial, and they're going to work synergistically together to spice up, to bump up your own natural growth hormone release in your pituitary. So you get some different benefits, whether it's sleep, better sleep patterns, more anti-aging effect all the way around, more lean muscle, losing weight. All these great things come with CJC $12.95 with Ipamorelin. So really, really good stuff.
Also, someone's talking about increasing there, similar to HGH. Yeah, MK677, some of the HGH.
MK677 is another one that we do. That's an oral. If you have issues with eating, that'd be the only downfall to it. But that was, we were just talking about Tristan Thomas getting busted for.
IGF-1, 2 will also do similar. It's not similar in its the way the chemical structure. Yeah. But it's similar in what it produces.
Yes.
IGF-1's less side effects too.
IGF-1's a great one. If you guys want to run that, that's another good one too. What do you guys think of injectable L-carnitine? It works great. It's good for a lot of different things. There's a lot of different benefits of it. We have L-carnitine in most of our Titan mixes, like Titan Complete, Hercules Potion. So they're in there at a lower dosage, right? But we do have L-carnitine at 500 milligrams per ml just by itself. So if you're looking for a heavy dose of L-carnitine, we do that too as well. So whether you want to get a little bit of it or you want to get a good strong amount with 500 milligrams per ml, which is probably the highest you're going to find, at that point we can help out either way.
And also the 500 milligram L-carnitine, that's water-based, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I've heard before of people getting injectable L-carnitine. Yeah. And it's been oil-based, so, it's going to sting a little bit, it's thicker.
Yep.
But our carnitine, like John said, is water-based, so it's going to be thin. I assume it is, because it's in Titan Completes and everything else. So it's going to be like B12, thin, watery, like Hercules Potion, where it's easy to inject and you don't really feel that much. Because I know I've heard in the past of, carnitine, it hurts during the injection, Yeah. That's straight carnitine, oil-based, it's like super concentrated, which we don't have here. So painless injections with carnitine.
All right, so what else we got here? We'll see. Teresa, what's going on? How you doing, Teresa? IFBB Pro. Lanika, Beast, what's going on? Tom asked, are you guys who had Thor? No, so we had Michael Hearn at our booth, Big Drew, me, Rodney. Our booth definitely dominated for sure.
We had every guest. At one point, we had 20 of the biggest, not biggest physically, but biggest names.
Yes.
Actors.
Yes.
Actresses.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
pros. People from other booths.
People in movies coming out. People in movies that's already been out. Like wrestlers. We had Titus. We had everybody.
We had everybody.
Yeah.
We had everybody. And we're gonna dominate this Olympia coming up too, and we're gonna take a couple of the crew out to the Arnold just to go out there and relax. We're not going to have a big booth at the expo for Arnold. We will at Olympia though, 100%. There was also another one.
Yeah, I keep hearing people talk about that. Man, you guys killed it over there. I walked over. I was going to come over, but I seen Michael Hearn. I seen Titus O'Neil.
I'm telling you. Randomly drug test. So in some sports, you can take HRT or TRT or some of these different things if you are prescribed and they accept a prescription. So at that point, it's really up to the organization as far as that goes.
Yeah, even with prescriptions, I've heard that in the past too. I'm prescribed. Yeah, but if it's on the NCAA lists, it doesn't matter. So also too, if people are prescribed something that's on a banned list, ask your doctor or medical provider and just say, is there another alternative I could take because this is on my list? There's not one medication for one thing. There's, even here at Titan, we have different medications that do this different things. So if you're like, okay, I want to take, say, MK677, but it's on the list, once you call the number or speak to one of our medical providers, just say, hey, I'm in the NBA, I want to take MK677. I heard what happened with Tristan. What else can you guys take? And then we'll let you know. Then you can let your nutritionist, your coach, or whoever manages you know, and work like that. That way you don't have to have any problems.
So you guys are good there. Does use of IGF-1 cause insulin resistance? So if you use any of these products, like the growth hormone releasing hormone peptides and stuff like that, usually like CJC 1295 with Ipamorelin, you could take that extendedly, and it's not going to cause any insulin resistance or anything like that. With IGF-1, now listen, with IGF-1, you're not going to take for extended amounts of time either. You're going to usually be on this at 3 months at maximum. And if you run these courses like this, you're not going to have a problem with insulin resistance or anything like that. Now, if you run it for a long extended period of time, there might be a sensitivity that, as far as, a buildup, and you are going to get some resistance, I guess, out of that to a certain extent. But it's not going to cause permanent insulin resistance. But you're not going to be on IGF-1 more than 3 months with us anyway. You go off for a month, and if you're off for 30 days, you can go back on for a couple, 3 months. So on, off with that one. That's the only one you have to do. CJC 1295, MK you're going to want to go on maybe 90 days tops, and then you're going to go off too as well. Also,
Ryan had a good question. He said that not question. He said that it's allowed that their test level is 1,000.
Wow.
So I guess that's what we try to do here at Titan. Maybe not that high, sometimes 900, 850.
Yep.
But basically they're allowing you to be at your optimal level is basically what we're trying to get you. That's a smart move by the NFL.
Yep.
Because if someone's 200 and they're not feeling well, and another guy is naturally good, he doesn't need anything, it's kind of a disadvantage. So what they're doing is giving everybody an advantage that they can go up to 1,000. Yeah. Now, on the flip side is that if I'm a all-star and my levels are only 300, just imagine how much better I'm going to be at 1,000. Now I'm 3 times higher. So even my levels are low. My skill is so much better that So, I mean, hey, NFL guys, check on that. If that's the case, give us a call.
Absolutely.
But check on it first.
Absolutely. Sam W. asks, what carrier oils of your TRT? So what kind of different oils we have? So there are a couple different options. There's MCT. There's regular grapeseed oil. There's there is a cottonseed oil too, but you got to make sure that you don't have any allergies. So we usually go through that with you too as well.
Yeah, we don't use peanut oil.
No
Never
peanut oil.
Peanut oil.
No.
I've heard of a place in Miami years back that was using peanut oil. People getting infections, and it was a nightmare. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
There is one pharmacy is carrying undecanate, testosterone undecanate. The problem is they're gonna discontinue it, because I was gonna start like asking patients if they wanted to use it. But the way with testosterone undecanate, I guess it's good for like 60 to 90 days. So you take one shot. So I guess a lot of providers didn't want to provide that for their patients. So,
yeah, I could see it. You wouldn't really be stable. I don't know. I can't imagine anything keeping your blood level stable. You inject it once every 30 days.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the pellets. Like you're all over the place. This pellet might dissolve in this person different.
Yeah. And then you got aromatization, all the other stuff that's going on. Now, what is really cool is that there is a new commercial product that has came out, and it's testosterone in a capsule. And it does not go through the liver or the kidneys, so there's no breakdown or liver toxicity whatsoever, which is really cool. Because that's the problem with oral testosterone, except if you get sublinguals through us. That's micronized, it goes to lymphatic, so it's sublingually getting taken in and not going through, the necessary channels. Because if you take testosterone orally, then you would have some issues.
I've heard of people you take certain things you take orally, it's going to get excreted if you how much water or sweat to a certain extent. So.
Okay, so saw something on IG the other day. Forgive me my ignorance. TRT clinics. Let's say you have an athlete that is competing. Do clinics have the ability to prescribe Deca, Anavar, Anadrol? What if a patient? So, there's TRT clinics out there that will give their patients Anavar, Anadrol, and Decadandrolone, and Stanozol. There's Stanozol that's available out there. There was Bolderon that was available out there.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Okay, listen. When I seen this in the pharmacy, like their SKUs, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, and then I asked the pharmacist. I get on the phone with the pharmacist, because they're the guys that are the doctor of the pharmacy. I'm like, listen, what do you guys have? What are other clinics prescribing this for? Like, because like,
right? They can't say
anabolic steroids.
They can't say TRT. If you guys don't know Bolderon, otherwise known as Equipoise, it's a veterinary steroid. Yeah. It's made for horses. It's what they give racehorses. It's made for dogs, cats, and horses. So if you go to like a veterinary pharmacy, it'll be in there for a horse. So I mean,
it was crazy.
How are they going to give that to?
It was crazy. It was for human use, so it wasn't the animal one. So I mean, it was like. I just can't wrap my head around it. And listen, we will never do this stuff. So if somebody say, listen, what? So I want to give them a whole bunch of stuff to ruin their body? No, we're not doing that. So if anybody wants to go do that, they can find a place that does it, and we're not going to do it. So, for Nandrolone, if you have supporting documentation, that might be something that can get provided.
But again, I don't mean to cut you off. With Nandrolone, you're not going to get Ronnie Coleman, you're not going to get. You're going to get enough just so your elbow feels a little bit better, or whatever you're using it for. So, and at that point, unless you're not going to be using it for a cosmetic difference.
No, you're talking about 100 milligrams a week, possibly.
Yeah. And Anavar or Oxandrolone, that was also banned. FDA, didn't they ban that?
So they banned one certain commercial product. So I guess the other commercial products they're going to let through, and the powders are going to let through. Okay. But when I talked to the pharmacies last, they were backstocked in some of these products. Anadrol was another one they were backstocked in. One thing they did have was Stanozol. I'm like, we're not doing Stanozol, sorry. They're like, we just instead of doing this one, just do this one. I'm like, we're not doing that, sorry. I mean, I remember like when I first started Titan. I've told somebody else's story earlier. When I first started Titan, I would go around to these different pharmacies and try to set up accounts. And I was a nobody at that point. Titan's nothing. So at that point, when I go in there, I bring my list of what I wanted to be made, and I'd have like Oxandrolone on there and stuff, and they'd look at me and they'd say, absolutely not. You're crazy. We're never going to produce these drugs at all. And it's just funny that all these pharmacies are pushing these anabolic steroid drugs. It is nuts. It's just something I can't wrap my head around. We're not going to partake in that. We're going to make sure you're healthy. We're going to get what you need to make you that way. But these things, when we start talking about Anadrol, I mean, come on, man. I mean, hemoglobin hematocrit are going to go out. Red blood cell count's going to go up. You're going to get bloated possibly. I mean, I understand it's a mass gainer.
Anadrol is the strongest, but it's also the most toxic anabolic steroid you can take.
Yeah. I mean,
and the thing, oxymetholone is oxymetholone is the actual
commercial product.
Yeah, the actual name of it. Advil's ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Anadrol is oxymetholone, but and the thing with Anadrol, as soon as you stop taking it, you're going to lose everything. Literally everything.
Yeah.
Some stuff you take, IGF, you take it for a long time, you stop it, everything kind of stays, the cells were built. Anadrol, a bunch of water and weight. So as soon as you take it, you could be, say, a guy weighs 220 pounds on January 1st, he could stop it, and he could be 185 pounds on February 1st.
No, it's true.
Eating the same food. So, I mean, it's definitely not.
So Seth Jordan said, what about these
Super
testosterone
toxic.
chews I keep hearing about? So I've seen these testosterone chews. Listen, they got to be sublingual. I've seen the chews and stuff like that. If you're swallowing that down, you're talking about going through liver, and it's going to be toxic. I mean, I don't care what they say.
Also, with the chews, how is it compounded?
It's like a piece of candy. Literally.
No, but I mean, what are they using? Like the filler, or what are they using to make that? So when people take testosterone chew, it's not as high as an injection will be.
No.
So a lot of times I may take more chews to equal the amount, but then you have more filler,
Yeah.
more of the bonding that's in the chew,
Yeah.
and it's just more extra stuff you don't need in your
So
stomach.
we do sublinguals, and what we do is we do 200 milligram sublinguals, and what happens is they'll cut the sublingual in half, like it's like a little square. They'll cut it in half. They'll take half in the morning and half at lunch, and that way their levels are even keel all through the day. Because micronized testosterone, the way it works, it's really fast, in and out. Yeah. So if you took it all in the morning, by afternoon, or let's say 1, 2, or 3 o'clock, it's going to be pretty much all gone. And then you're going to start feeling the symptoms. You're going to be tired and everything like that until you take your next dose. So that's kind of what it is. Now, I mean, I've seen...
I know a lot of women use the...
They use the
sublinguals, because they don't need as much. They're obviously not going to take as much as a man would take.
Right.
So.
And it's harder to dose injectable testosterone for a female out of that because, one, the milligrams per ml are usually higher.
They do like 0.1 on an insulin needle or something like that.
Even that, you're talking about, what, 20 milligrams?
Still too high,
You know? So it's we have some different formulas that have made us injectable testosterone like 25 milligrams per ml. So we can break it down and we can give them 2, 3, 4, 5 milligrams. But we don't like to do that first. We like to try to get them to do either sublingual or cream. It's a lot easier on the female as far as that goes. But if that doesn't work, then we always have the injectable, and we can go that route too as well. All right. What type of test do you guys use for TRT? We have all different propionate, cypionate, and enthate. We have all the different blends. Tri-test, it has all three. We have cyprop. We have cypionenthate. So, we have all these different ones. Elbow tendon pain in the middle of the night, but doesn't hurt any other time. That's really weird.
Middle of the night? Are you sleeping on it? Wrong?
Yeah, that's got to be it. It's got to be something that you're doing as far as sleep does.
Do you train? Are you training like triceps or doing heavy presses right before you go to bed? Maybe it's just, I don't know. But middle of the night, but that should be a time where it's not hurting because you're not moving.
If you keep extending sometimes.
Actually, that happens to me. Yeah.
Or if you had your wife or girlfriend or whoever, your partner, and they're laying your arm.
Yeah.
Man, that's over with now.
But I know mine. If my arm is extended, I have to put a pillow. I always have a pillow.
Yes.
If it's extended, I do have a little stiffness.
Right?
It has to if it's straight, I have to have it a little bit bent, 75% at least.
Yeah.
Train at 5 a.m. I'm not sure why we have that at night.
But yeah, man. So that's the way to do it. All right. So let's talk about the next topic real quick. Ohio Senate overrides governor veto for trans care sports ban HB 68. Thought this was important to bring up. Well, so the Ohio Senate originally in their house sent a bill to the governor about transgender females. So this is a male switching to a female, and if they're playing sports, they are not allowed to get any of this different transitioning care. They don't want it for minors, puberty blockers, all these different things that are going on right now, and they're not able to participate in female sports as well. So
they pretty much can't play at all.
No, so they cannot play. And that's what's come down. Now, this governor tried to veto this ban, and then what happened was the Senate came back and then they voted to override this veto. So it's a pretty serious thing, and this has been going around in a couple different states right now as far as this goes. I think it's a good thing. I don't think that we need to give any kid puberty blockers that has not been through puberty yet.
Yeah.
And the reasoning for some of these people was we want to give them puberty blockers so they can identify what they really want to be. Well, how the hell do they know that they really want to be when they've never been anything yet?
Yeah, and you're altering their mind before it's developed, like
Right?
before it's even physically before they're developed.
Yeah.
Like you can make a decision of what gender you want to be before you even reach your potential height, or before a girl even has a menstrual cycle.
Right.
I mean, I've heard things where young girls, I'm not sure, they get their menstrual cycle like 11, 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
What if they get their menstrual cycle late, but now she's 12 years old, so she wants to be, or he wants to be a woman at 12, and then now, or it's just before you even. My mind is mind is not even fully developed.
Not developed.
It's not even about physical. Your mind is not developed at that point. It's just they should have their own league. I've been saying this every time we have one of these discussions about transgender athletes. They should have their own league. They should have a league for women to transition as men. Mm-hmm. They should have a league for men that transitions into women, and just make their own league. Have different ages, organizations, skill levels.
Yep.
That way, they'll never have to worry about unfair advantages.
I agree 100%. Or discrimination or anything like that. It is what it is. Like,
and then their sports would get better because now you have a male to female, male to female against another male to female.
Yeah, for sure.
Just blow some other chick out.
Yeah,
it's even playing field.
Yeah, and it'll rise the quality of that sport.
Even playing.
But when they came out with the WNBA, because none of these women, I mean, they may think they can, but they wouldn't be able to. After college, these women realize I have to go overseas to play pro because otherwise I'm going to be at the rec or I'm going to get a coaching job or just play in some league.
Yeah.
So they came up with their own league.
Yeah.
And the league now, it's doing well. Why not just have their own league? I don't understand it. Like
I don't know if they wouldn't get support, or I don't know. I think that's what it is. And this damn.
They should ban it 18 years old before you can do anything. Like anything.
I agree 100%. I think that you should be able to go through things, and then if you want to at 18 to change things, that's your God-given right.
3-minute warning.
3-minute warning. So at that point, I agree with the Ohio Senate doing the override on the governor, and I think if he were to leave this in place with the veto, that he would be hurting a lot more kids out there that really don't know. And the trendy thing is to be gay now, and I'm not saying that there's nothing bad about gay people, but that's a trendy thing. Like, you see more transgenders now. You see more gay people now.
That's the thing. Trends end.
It's
a fad or a phase. It's a trend. It ends.
So
if I was 12 years old and I loved race cars, and then now once I hit 18, I hate race cars. I don't even want to be around them. I don't know that yet. So it's like it was a trend. It was something I was interested for that time period. It wasn't like I was, I could go.
I agree, dude.
I could go on.
Listen, I agree with you 100% on this. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. We have our own opinion on these things. And just is what it is. I think that everybody should be treated equally, and there shouldn't be any discrimination between anybody what they want to be, whether it's their sexual preference, their color, their religion, or whatever it is. But there shouldn't be any pushing or forcing down anybody's throats. Like, I'm Greek Orthodox. I don't push that down Drew's throat. I'm like, you need to be Greek Orthodox. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, no. It's just the same, man. So, I mean, nothing should be pushed down anybody's throats, whether you're gay and you're pushing down somebody's throat or vice versa. If I'm heterosexual, I'm pushing down a gay person. Well, you shouldn't be gay. Or they should be, you should be gay. One way or the other, it should just be however you want to be, but it should not be forced down anybody's throat.
Because I know kids now, they're playing videos in schools and all this, so they're subliminally getting them to.
I know.
It's just crazy. And then the kids aren't allowed to tell the parents what they're showing them in school. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's like they're giving kids too much, like, I don't know what the word is, but like they're giving them an ability to make adult decisions.
Right.
I don't have to tell my mom what they're showing me in school because I'm the one that's in charge.
Right.
I want to be a woman even though I'm a man. I could, that's something you have to not earn, but get to a certain level.
In California, they can take your kid for you for that now.
That's crazy.
And then in California, they just had a couple of laws passed. Think about this: if you're a store out there, you have to have a kids gender neutral toy section.
I've seen what they have at Target. They have that's bad.
I mean, legally you have to have it in California now.
1 minute, guys.
All right. So listen, let's end it on a high note. We've got a couple different events coming. 2:10 Healthy Family Fair at Waterworks Park here in Tampa. 2:29 to 3:03. We will be, a couple of us will be at the Arnold Sports Fest in Columbus, Ohio, 3:30, 4:27, 5:25, and 11:2. We will be in Orlando for the Klash Series Championships. So we'll be there for every one of those bad boys. We're looking forward to that. There'll be some new events for us that we've never done before.
Yeah, whole Klash series. This series of Klash, like 5 shows, 4 shows.
And then we'll have, probably Tampa Pro coming up. We'll hopefully be Tight Medical Tampa Pro again. Yeah. We'll have Mr. Olympia coming down the pipe. And then probably more. We're going to do a lot more events. So
I know bikini girls. They hear Klash. That's like the Olympia for bikini girls.
Because they have one. They just have one. It's an all-women's weekend.
Yeah.
All women's weekend.
Yeah, all and the thing is, all the Klash are huge bikini shows, but that all women's weekend ones are huge.
Yeah.
That's like the
so
estrogen on 1,000 weekend.
Yeah, so get some girls out there for that one for sure, 100%. All right, guys. So I think that's it. That's all we got for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in for Titan Lifestyle. We hope you have a great Friday, and that's it for me.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for this week, guys. Make sure you hit the bell on YouTube so you're notified of videos like this. Check us out on the podcast. We do this every week on Facebook and Instagram as well. I'll see you next week.